freestyle rap at all?
Not yet.
Doesn't it appear to be extremely coincidental that you guys arrest people right outside of Governor Newsom's press conference? Is this really just a show of power?
Patriots. This is Secret Service Sam. Welcome to Samson's World. OMG. It's a little chilly today up in the studio, so I got my Kendrick Lamar SZA hoodie on. It's a rare sight to see me in a hoodie and my fancy La Contento jacket, but yet here I am, rocking like a hurricane. Yes, that's right. Guys, it is a beautiful, well, is it a beautiful Monday? It's rainy as hell, and this town does not look good in rain. No, it doesn't. LA sucks when it rains. Everything floods. We're not set up for bad weather. You know what I mean? That's the one thing, you know, you might say some others. But LA does not do good in rain, and those are just factuals. Welcome to Samson's World, where court, comedy, and culture collide, and your universe. I'm very excited. I just became the food critic and food and lifestyle critic reviewer for LA Magazine. So shout out to LA Magazine. I just went to this amazing Anta Land event over the weekend. It was on Sunday, where Kyrie Irving shut down hey, how's it going, Action Packed? Kyrie Irving shut down the entire Santa Monica Pier. And if you guys don't know, the Santa Monica Pier here has, there's games, there's roller coasters, there's a Ferris wheel. It's kind of like a carnival, basically, on the pier. It's a beautiful old pier. And Kyrie Irving and Anta, and if you don't know what Anta is, it's a $1 billion company. It's a $1 billion company from China. Awesome. A guy named Sam Su, I think, is the CEO. But I mean, they shut down they shut down the whole entire Santa Monica Pier. And it was so fun. I went with the kids. We had a blast because usually Santa Monica Pier is so expensive. So to get to go there for free is amazing. I just see my mom join the feed. Hi, Mom. Love ya. Yeah, so let's get into it, everybody. Today, it's a crazy Monday, but I feel like every day we get something new that we're bombarded with. This is stressful, isn't it? I mean, whether it be these Epstein files that are just not going away, even though they want them. Let's just not talk about it. Can we talk about all the good stuff we're doing? I mean, I don't know. I always thought Donald Trump could outrun anything, and I still kind of believe he does. But yeah, it is pretty crazy because this Epstein thing, it's just, there's famous people. There is, like I saw Deepak Chopra allegedly was on the list. Yeah, I know. I see people in the comments saying new scum. You guys love names and nicknames. I really think it's pretty dumb, especially when you don't live here in California. And I never understand why people dislike California so much. And then I'm like, where do you live? And they're like Arkansas or some shit, or Missouri, my home state, where there's so much else going. They act like, California, we have, the worst homeless problem in the country. But they don't understand that's because we have everybody's homeless here. Do you really think everybody who's here who's homeless is a native to California? No. They're from all 51 states. How many are there? They're from all over this country, and they come here to LA. Why? Because you can live year round in Los Angeles, in California, especially SoCal. I like Governor Newsom. I live in California. Who was the last person you mentioned? Who was the last person I mentioned? I'm not really sure. I don't know, Tony. My memory is decent, but I don't hate Cali, but the theft of tax dollars is pretty gross. You know what I don't like about California, or just I'll speak on Los Angeles because that's where I am, is yeah, the homeless epidemic. I mean, there's been billions and billions of dollars spent. And I'm just like, where does it go? You know, it's not like you see homeless people who have a tent that's been given by the city there, you know, and all the homeless shelters they build. Um, a lot of times these companies will build these tiny homes for like $300,000 each home. It's not cost effective. They're just trying to steal money. F SoCal. Well, Tony, I mean, it's pretty beautiful out here, man. I can understand it. Where are you from, Tony? And no, it's like there's nowhere that's perfect, right? I mean, nowhere is without flaw. But the Los Angeles lifestyle is pretty nice. I mean, people always say, how, why? The weather. Besides today, it's raining. But every single other day here is like 75 degrees. It is the middle of February. Happy Black History Month, by the way, to everyone. And it's the middle of February. And besides today, I'm usually wearing shorts and a t-shirt. You know, the weather is really beautiful. Yes, California does have the highest cost of living. Somebody said it has the highest of unemployment, but again, I think that's because we have so many people here. Now, oh, hey, Butt Russell, you're in there. Hey. Now, but do you know why it's the highest place to live? Because it's the best. It's like, you know, for example, if you go to a Motel 6, right? That's cheap. If you go to a Ritz-Carlton Four Seasons, it's expensive. You know, and the weather is what makes LA expensive, right? When you have pretty much heaven-like perfect 75-degree weather almost every day year round, that's what makes it expensive. You know what I mean? That's why, yeah, there's homes out here. You're like, that's $1 million home. Then you go somewhere else and it's a $300,000 home. But it's because everybody from around the world comes to California, comes to Los Angeles to live here. Cynthia Marie Chosen, I thought you were in STL. No, I am originally from St. Louis, but I have now lived in Los Angeles for, almost 25 years. So I'm pretty much, I've lived in LA longer than I was raised in St. Louis. So I'm almost, I'm an Angelino now, I call myself. Yes, billions of fraud, and his cousin Justin Trudeau, another fraudster, 300 million. Yeah, yep. Funny, that's why people are leaving California in droves. Well, but Russell, the people who are leaving California in droves are the ones who it's a very expensive place. Hey, Silky Sweet. There's no doubts, no hurricanes, light flooding, beaches, and bridges. Yep. And yeah, I mean, they always say that, but where are they going to Texas? I mean, I don't know. Where do you live, Bud Russell? You're Tammy Holland, Sam. Yes, I am Cynthia Marie. I am Samson Crouppen from, I used to do a show with Tammy Holland. God rest her soul. She passed of colon cancer about a year ago. She was a very close friend of mine, family friend. That's on a side note, make sure to get your colonoscopy, guys. Tammy, it was very sad. She thought she was menstruating. And really, if you see blood in your stools, that is a sign that you definitely need to get a colonoscopy, because what they go in, they scrape polyps out. And then you're good. You know, it's a very preventable cancer. The problem is with health insurance companies, they like to tell you, wait until you're 50, but that's bullshit. If you wait until you're 50, most times it could be too late. I tell people, and I am not a doctor, but from my experience and from doctors I've spoken with, get your colonoscopy in your early 40s, right? Because what's the worst thing you can do? Save your life. Yeah, thank you, Cynthia. Yeah, Tammy was a beautiful soul. And it's so sad to me because she should still be here. But that's not how God wanted it. God wanted to call her back home. He wanted one of his angels right there. California and New York are the two states that have the most population leaving. Well, I mean, I'm not leaving. So you might be, but what does that mean? I mean, yeah, maybe a lot of people aren't leaving Missouri or wherever you are. But a lot of it is because people don't generally leave their hometowns. But a lot of people do leave LA because they can't afford it. I'm very fortunate. I've managed to make life work here, own a property here. I'm very, very fortunate and lucky. But yeah, just because people are leaving, it doesn't mean they're not leaving it because generally they dislike it so much. I get blood on my stools whenever I use them upside down. Oh, that's funny. I like that, Smooth Bandit. I got your joke. Good job. It's extremely important to go, and if you're having trouble before, to get tested. Exactly, Amy. Because colon cancer is so preventable. I mean, we just saw impossible. The immigrants are here, you big dummy. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, I mean, James Vanderbeek just passed away at 48 from colon cancer, and it's just, I don't know exactly what his situation was, but in most cases is such a preventable cancer. And also, if you have somebody in your family who has had polyps, then that's definitely a good reason to go. A doctor friend of mine, Dr. Zuri Murrell, Murrell, please look him up. He's in Los Angeles. He is one of the best colorectal doctors, I hope I'm saying that right, in the country. Doesn't that put you way above people that have to leave? Yes, high five. That would put me above people who have to leave. But my wife is a speech therapist. I will say what happens, and I'm in the entertainment business. I'm a comedian. I will be this Wednesday. Watch me on Comics Unleashed right after the Colbert Show. So if you want to see me outside of this podcast, actually on TV, please do that. Also, if you are in Florida, I will be playing Off the Hook Comedy Club April 1st. That's April Fool's Day. It's no joke, though. I will be there. So if you'd like to come see me live, yell at me in person, or maybe, give me a compliment, say hey to me. I'd love to see you guys out there. That's in Naples, Florida. Off the Hook Comedy Club, April 1st. I will be there. I'm very excited about that. I just booked that today. But anyway, yes, colon cancer is so preventable. And it's just, you can't let it go, and I see a lot of men. I saw a man in there when I was getting, after my colonoscopy, you go in there, say, yeah, you're good. We scraped a polyp out, but you're good. Come back in about 3 to 5 years. And there was a man in there, and he was a black gentleman. And I was talking to him. He's like, yeah, man, in the community, people are like, is that some gay shit? I don't want anything put up my ass. And a lot of men are like this. It's not just the black community. And to men, I have to say, like, guys, get over it. Would you rather have a doctor knock you out, stick a camera up your ass and make sure you're okay, or die? So get over yourself. It's not a scary procedure. Oh, Silky Sweet, you're about an hour from Naples. Oh, and you don't have a car. Daggone. Well, you've got a month to maybe figure it out. I would love to meet you in person, but don't go too crazy. Yeah, Smooth Bandit, please go and do it, guys. I just can't urge you enough to get a colonoscopy. The worst part about it is you have to drink all that like barium fluid. You have to drink a gallon of fluid. You don't eat for a day. You fast, which is nice. You lose weight. And then you basically shit your brains out for a whole day. And then once the toilet is yellow, there's no remnants left. Sorry to be disgusting, but I'm just giving you the information. Then you're good to go for the colonoscopy. You get there generally in the morning. Yeah, you won't even feel it, Cynthia Marie, exactly, because you're asleep. So the hardest part is drinking all the fluid, getting everything out of you, which is good. You clean your colon out, because if you think about it, all the years of crap we eat and everything, it flushes your entire colon out. And then next morning, the hardest part, they put the IV in your hand, right? And you know, I don't love needles. Oh my God, Jonte, come on, please tell me you're joking. Somebody said I'll die. No, please don't do that. And usually my insurance covered it. I think it only cost me, I'll say only, but about $300 to $400, which is expensive. But what is your life worth? And so they put the IV in. You're sitting there, and you're in, you know, it's generally at a hospital. And then when you're ready, they wheel you into the room. The anesthesiologist, like, hey, just lay on your side. You okay? You comfortable? And literally, like, okay, here you go. Boom. And before you know it, you're asleep. You have no idea. And then before you know it, you're in another room being woken up. You're on propofol, right? So you feel like Michael Jackson. Hee-hoo. You're kind of drugged. You have to make sure you have somebody pick you up because you cannot drive. But it's such a simple, painless procedure, and it could save your life. So please, like Chadwick Boseman died of colon cancer, and it's so preventable. So please, anybody out there, if you guys have questions about it, I actually made TikTok videos and Instagram while I was going through the process. Just look on my anything at Secret Service Sam and look up Secret Service Sam colonoscopy, and it should pull up my videos. It'll, you know, because I had a lot of questions during my colonoscopy, and so I like to record these things and leave wisdom, so I help other people. So you're not as nervous, or hey, Sam, if this is happening, am I, you know, because the thing is, you have to drink all that stuff, and honestly, I was getting sick. I was getting a headache. It's very important to drink water throughout the process because you're drinking water with the laxative solution. And so you think you're hydrating yourself, but you're actually dehydrating yourself because you're getting everything out. So I had a really bad headache. And I was like, I can't drink any more of this stuff. And they say to finish the whole thing. But since the toilet bowl, if you don't see any remnants of poops in there and it's yellow, you're good. You don't feel anything at all, got to drive home, have a nap. It's not bad at all. Yeah, exactly. I'm too sick to take the medicine before the colonoscopy. So what can I do? Any suggestions? What medicine are you talking about? Do you mean because you have to clear your colon out? But I didn't take any medicine before I got my colonoscopy. It was just, it's like literally like a liter or a gallon, I don't even know how much of, and it's kind of flavored like lemonade, even though it doesn't taste much like lemonade. It doesn't taste good. You have to literally force it down all day. Can't I just shove a healing crystal up there? Yeah, no, I wish it were that simple. And honestly, that sounds way more painful than just getting your colonoscopy to shove a crystal up your ass. You're so full of bullshit. Okay. Thank you, Sally. I don't know what you think I'm lying about here. You can get pills now instead of the liquid, at least in Canada. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I've never heard of that. Pills would be much easier. Trust me. Here we go again with the walls closing in. Well, guys, look, I mean, look, I know it's in the title. The walls are closing in on everybody, right? The walls are closing in. I mean, I'm too weak to drink and go through that. I can hardly digest foods, and I go through enough anyway as it is. God, I'm so sorry to hear that. Are you getting your colonoscopy? Please make sure you're getting checked out. I didn't know that, Pam, that they had a pill. I would have loved the pill. The home, color test is named. Yeah, I've seen the thing where you like shit in a box. But that is not, from what I've been told, it is not as effective as actually getting your colonoscopy. I think the shit in the box, it's a shit in the box. I think that is for maybe people that you don't have it in your family, or it's not as serious. But I would say go get your colonoscopy. It's very important. Oh, it's a Dulcolax pill. Yeah, but even the fluid they give you it works even way better than Dulcolax. It's crazy. My coffee matches my color of my hoodie pretty perfectly. That's kind of funny. But yeah, So anyway, this guy I saw in the office, he was so scared, and he ended up being a friend of mine who I kind of knew from a show I did with Tiffany Haddish. And I told him, I said, please call me if anybody has any questions about colonoscopies ever. Please DM me, let me know. I'm always happy to talk about it. Yeah, Cynthia Marie, it's the magnesium citrate, I think. Yeah, that stuff, it goes through you. Did you foolishly get the COVID jabs? You seem like you would have got them. I did get a COVID jab. You know, I did do that. I do also get my flu shots. I'm sure maybe you guys don't approve of that, but I have children. You know, I got to be careful. Gloom and doom. Trump is going to start World War III again. The sky is falling. Hey, 46MD. Thanks for coming back in here. I'll check into the pill. Thank you for saying that. I keep canceling the colonoscopy because I'm sick of it at the time and can't even. No. Please don't, Shirley. Please stop canceling it. Please go in there and do it. For all of our benefit. We care about you. We want you here. And it's important too. You know, it literally saves your lives. It's such a preventable cancer. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me hear. It's something you can do, Sam. Goes in container as I have issues being put under because of your heart. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, Silky Sweet. Yeah, again, I'm not a doctor, so make sure you talk to your doctor and find out what's best for you. But I just know that a colonoscopy, there's a lot of stigma around it. Big Pharma loves foolish people like you, customer for life. Well, thank you. I get my flu shots. Maybe I'm an idiot. But you know what? I got kids. Yeah, let's see. Henry, yeah, I love when people say Trump 2028 because it's not constitutional. To have a president run 3 times. But god dang, if he ran against Obama, do you see Obama was here at NBA All-Star weekend? That's what Trump really wants. He loves adoration. He loves people to love him. And unfortunately, he, like Obama, everywhere Obama goes, and he hasn't been the president in over a decade, he gets the biggest cheers. At the NBA All-Star weekend, people were hooting and hollering. And I love Obama. I just think Biden was Obama. I'm not sure what that means. Doctors said I can do it at home, and if anything, he'll set me up in a hospital for one. Okay, Silky Sweet. Well, just make sure you do what's best for you and take care because it's just so preventable. I got a vaccine that prevented the spread of COVID to prevent death. Yes, I did. And also, it's interesting. I think it was, what was the other one? There's Pfizer and what is the other one? One of my friends got it, and he actually landed himself in the hospital from the vaccine. His tongue, he said it felt like it was on fire, and he briefly said he had diabetes, like he became diabetic or something for a week. So I'm not going to sit here and act like these vaccines are perfect, but I'm not a doctor. You know what I mean? I just play one on TV. But I did see in Florida, the attorney general is like canceling all vaccine mandates. And you see Texas is having one of the largest measles outbreaks. Like, guys, polio, measles, mumps, rubella, chickenpox, all of that. Here it comes. Yes, I am Jewish. Does that matter really? Could you be any more beta? Yes, I could. Just for you, baby. I'm a beta cuck. That's what all these Trumpers love, the MAGAs. Trump is your daddy. I love when I wake up in the morning and liberals are losing their mind. I am losing my mind, actually, not because Trump is my daddy, although Trump being my daddy would definitely be a reason to lose my mind. But it's all the politicians. It's so many rich, elite. I mean, Woody Allen, allegedly, Bill Gates, allegedly. There's so many people, and it's just the walls are closing in on them all. And I think I realize it's kind of sad, but it is what it is. I feel so sorry for your children to have as a father. You're so ignorant. Spartacus, thank you so much for your kind, beautiful words. I think my kids are pretty healthy and doing well, and I think they'd tell you that. Do you have children? I hope you do, and I hope they're healthy, or maybe not. Welcome back to the chicken. Yeah, remember the chicken pox parties where we would get together and have it? You can get the pills across the counter. Okay, thank you, Bud Russell. You're Jewish. Explains why your mind is so messed up. Isn't it interesting, guys, how I allow this anti-Semitism and different racism and just stuff to, I give you guys a platform to speak. Moderna, that's it. Thank you, Cynthia. Yeah, the Moderna one, my friend got and got very sick of it. It got very sick from it. So I'm not going to sit here and say that these vaccines are perfect. I'm just saying, I'm not, I think we should vaccinate our kids. There's been proof that a lot of these diseases have been eradicated because of the vaccines. Guys, if you see that, that is the link to the show. If anybody wants to come on and talk to me, I would love to hear it. Let's educate each other, especially align with Jesus. Spartacus, you guys are my favorite. Please come on and tell me why my Jewish brain is so messed up. And also, just to let you know, I am Jewish, but that doesn't mean, and people like say, oh, you're a liberal, a libtard, Sam, and all this. And, I wouldn't call myself liberal. I'm liberal with some things. I'm conservative with others. But a lot of what I try to do is just ditch these gang colors of left and right. I think that's the reason we're all so divided, is because these billionaires have got us all working. I mean, they've got us all working together. And who knows? I saw that Bill Gates. Interesting, Cheryl. You don't believe in vaccinating kids. Okay. I can respect your personal decision. Do you have children, Cheryl? Hi, Cheryl, by the way. I love you. I think you're awesome. I do believe in vaccinating my kids just because, in here in California, you can't go to school unless your kids are vaccinated. But I do know parents, or, I've known friends that don't appreciate, don't believe in it. And I just, like I said, I'm just not, I trust doctors, and I have doctor friends who are like, dude, get your kids vaccinated. My doctor, you rarely will hear a doctor telling you not to vaccinate your children, Oh, look, I just asked, now I'm anti-Semitic. No, I didn't say you were anti-Semitic. I just said a lot of people like to bring that up. And then I wasn't calling you anti-Semitic. I was calling this guy anti-Semitic for saying, I'm Jewish, explains why your mind is so messed up, which isn't fair. I mean, I'm a Jew. I celebrate Christmas. I celebrate Hanukkah. My wife is Catholic. Why have you Jewish? Yeah, that just doesn't make a lot of sense, guys. MAGA is for old people. America First is for young people. Yeah, I agree. I am America First. That's something I really need to put out there. I am Jewish, but I'm very concerned with all the money we're sending to Israel. Do you know in Israel they get free health care? They're getting all these things, and we don't get free health care. And I'm seeing our politicians, it's like they're very for Israel. I mean, I get it, but I need our politicians to be America First, right? We're giving $40 billion to Argentina. Like, I need us to give money to America first. I mean, do you guys agree with that? Yes, Silky Sweet, I did see the emails. I love that video you sent me of Trump as Bad Bunny. That was pretty funny. Bud Russell. Look, yes, Jewish people are great, but not all of them. People are great, but not all of them. I think that's the thing about it is, there's bad people in all walks of life. And just because there are doesn't mean you can just say, just because there's a few bad seats doesn't mean, it's like President Trump is saying Somalians just the dirtiest country. You can't say that. I know Somalian. I have Somalian friends who are wonderful people. Are there bad Somalians out there in the world? Of course. but that doesn't mean you can call all Somalians terrible people. Hi, Sam. No, I do not have children. However, my sister doesn't vaccinate my niece, and they're completely healthy. Yeah, I mean, look, I think, again, it's like, I'm not saying, oh, if you take the vaccines, that means you're going to get sick. But I think there is research that shows that we have eradicated, like nobody gets chicken pox anymore, right? Because nobody before this last year or so we haven't had measles outbreaks. Let someone work in the pediatric ER. They may change their mind, said Cynthia Marie. Yeah, I agree. Because, I agree, Cheryl. I think, like you said, you might not vaccinate your kids and they might be fine, but then there might be other kids who don't. And then your child not being vaccinated could end up, I don't know. So I just think, it's hard, man. We're here on one, we spin around this globe once in our life. And I don't know. I'm just, I haven't had really any problems from the vaccine. I never used to get my flu shot until I had kids. And the doctor's like, well, if you get the flu and give it to your kid could die. So get the flu shot. And I was like, all right. You know what I mean? Why have you Jewish people been expelled so many times in history? I don't know. I really don't know that, Spartacus. If you'd like to come on the show and talk about that more up close, I will. But, I'm not the Jewish person that you're thinking of in your mind. You know what I mean? We're not all the person that you're thinking of. And I think that's what's hard about life for most people, I realize, is you might have a bad experience with a Jewish person. But part of the challenge is saying, okay, that was that individual. That person was like these stereotypes that I've heard so much of, but every Jewish person isn't like that. I'm sure, Spartacus, as much crazy stuff as you've said already on my live, that, we probably have some things in common. Come on the show and talk about it. Come on the show and talk about it. I will put the link to the show. Hold on one second. Here we go. Adding this banner. Let's see. That one's stretch. Yep. I believe this should be it. If you guys want to copy and paste that and come on to the show, you're more than welcome to come on and talk to me. I always say, talk to my face. Don't just yell at me in the comments. Why do Jews often marry Catholics? That's a very good question. And I think it's because, sometimes Jewish women are, oh my God. And there's neurosis, and these are stereotypes. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Something about my wife was more calming. I've personally, I think I've only maybe dated one Jewish girl in my life. Just, I don't know. Cynthia Marie says the flu almost took me out years ago, but it weakened my heart. Been getting flu shots ever since. Okay. Everybody's experience is different. I think Jewish people, why do Catholic people marry Jewish people? I don't know. I think there's some interest. The left hates Jewish people. Okay, I don't know about that. One is very funny meme video of Trump and Bad Bunny dancing in the Oval Office. Yeah, I love that. That's pretty funny. It's so amazing with AI. Free healthcare is not what you think it is. Yeah, that could be true. Yes, I am an Ashkenazi Jew. I believe I am, actually. The Synagogue of Satan. Okay. I don't really subscribe to Satan. It's not every Jew, but it's always a Jew. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of anti-Semitism, trust me. And I think Benjamin Netanyahu is creating a lot more anti-Semitism. You know what I mean? And I don't know what the answer is to that, but what I will say is meet me. If you don't have a Jewish person to point to who you can say is, hopefully I can be the beacon of light and make you understand that there is good Jewish people out there. Okay. I know a lot of them. My dad, my mother, my brother, my sisters, my children, and that's all you can do at the end of the day is if you have children, you raise them in the best way you can. Please vaccinate your kids. Somebody says millions of people come into our country without being vaccinated for anything. Thank you, Bud Russell. Cheryl, could I ask you why you didn't vaccinate your kids? It's just for me and my kid got measles and then some other kid was immune compromised. I'd want to protect that kid too. Yeah, Skull. Cheryl said it was not her kids. It was her sister's kids, I believe. So her niece. And, you know, I know people who also believe that. I don't know what lies you think I'm telling. I haven't vaxxed my last born and he's totally healthy, drinks raw milk too. Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, guys, it's not saying it's not saying that you can't vaccinate if you don't vaccinate your kids, that your kids are going to die. Of course, it's just overall. I believe that vaccinations seem to help. Like I said, I've never had our pediatric doctor ever say, "Yeah, Sam, I don't think you should do that." I mean, I give vaccinations to my dog. My dog just got a shot for influenza or something. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. Healthcare should cover naturopaths, holistic practitioners, says Cynthia. Yeah, I agree. Sam, the problem is most things in the vaccines, most people are allergic to. Yeah, that could be. Caesar raw milk isn't safe. Literally, a baby was born stillborn because her mom drank raw milk and died of listeria. Yeah, that's true. Usually when you're pregnant, they tell you don't eat like deli meats or raw milk because of listeria. And of course, like, look, it's not everybody, but I think the science backs. I mean, unless you want to believe RFK, who snorted cocaine off a toilet seat. I mean, who even trusts that guy? I mean, RFK looks like his fucking head is about to explode, and he's in control of our health. America has become rather annoying with the shiz we do. Most are sheep, a ton are overly opinionated, and some don't care, period. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think we're all tired. People target George Soros, but they never target Sheldon Adelson. Yeah. And his wife, she goes, Mr. Trump, I'll give you $250 million more dollars. Yeah. I love Jews. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. The left is controlled by the Jewish people to the person that this comment that, I mean, look, I think Israel is definitely, I mean, I don't know if you saw, there's a video, which maybe sorry, spilled some of my coffee. I'll pull this video up of Netanyahu coming into our Congress. And I'm like, look, I'm Jewish. And I personally, I get very confused about it. And it's hard being a Jewish guy during Christmas time now. It's hard being, Jewish in these times and trying to understand, you know, in Israel, what's going on in Gaza is clearly a genocide. It's there's an apartheid state happening there. And so there's a lot of things of that I don't approve of, but I'm still Jewish, right? You know, I'm just, it's hard. Let me see. Well, let's see. Netanyahu gets applause in Congress. Let me look up this video for you guys. This is wild. Like, he literally had to tell them to stop applauding for them. It was really, really, it's crazy. So, and I think a lot of this, there's a lot of blackmail going on. We're seeing with these Epstein files that, you know, Epstein, the reason Epstein was put into power was to get shit on politicians so they could be blackmailed, so they could control everything. Look at this video. Now, I'm just going to say,
the Prime Minister of the State of Israel.
I mean, they are applauding. When you think of a dirty Jew, Howard Stern comes to mind. Yeah. Mr. Potato Nose, we missed you. Is that me? Am I Mr. Potato Nose? I mean, look at that. He's like, okay, guys, that's good. They're still applauding him.
Members of Congress, I now have the high privilege and distinct honor of presenting to you His Excellency Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel.
Mike Johnson, I mean, dude, they're just all being paid. Even like Erica Kirk, like she's like, we always say Shabbat Shalom. I'm like, I don't know any Catholic out there ever say Shabbat Shalom. I went to an all Jesuit school and I never heard any Catholic say Shabbat Shalom. I personally, allegedly believe that Candace Owens cares more about finding the killer of Charlie Kirk than his own wife. But I think really what happened is Charlie Kirk was offered about 150 million, allegedly, they say, to support Israel. And I think he was going in a different direction. He even said, like 2 days before his death, like, they'll probably kill me for saying this. But I think allegedly, I mean, Erica Kirk has such evil in her eyes and something weird that I can't help but feel like she had something to do with the death of her husband. You know, I mean, 11 days after his death, and she's talking about how they sold $200,000 of merch. She's telling different people from TPUSA, if you need to take a day off, I totally understand. It's like, girl, you need to take a day off. I don't think she's probably been with her kids more than 5 days since Charlie Kirk died. I mean, and it's very sad for those kids because really they lost both their parents on that day. I can't even, bro, you're special ed. I ain't never taken a vaccine. I actually was in special ed, so you are correct about that. And just because you've never taken a vaccine, listen, guys, just because I vaccinate my kids or have I said I'm better than anybody out there? But it's kind of funny. You guys are saying that you're better than me for not vaccinating your kids. It just doesn't go that way. You just have to respect my decision and I'll, do yours. But I think there's a lot more science that prove that vaccines. Why do we not have polio anymore? Why are the measles, chicken pox? It's just, I don't know. Measles outbreak in Ave Maria University here in Florida in a few hours from my town. Yeah, right. And that's something we eradicated, I thought. Nice. Thank you very much. I've got a very, if I was a rich man, yeah, I mean, look at that. They're still caring for him. And this guy he's a war criminal. I mean, he's wanted, I guess he's like, okay, that's enough. That's enough applause. I don't know. Something weird going on over there. If you knew Epstein, Netanyahu opposition, Bibi. Yep. Hey, Bibi. Real science confirms the COVID vaccine are dangerous. You trust F. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Jewish equals Zionist. Well, not always. I don't consider myself a Zionist. What I think is like Senator Tom Cotton, Joe Biden. Yes, I'm a Zionist. It's like, really? I thought Zionists were only Jewish people. I really only learned what a Zionist was after October 7th. And what's so interesting is Israeli, the IDF is the most advanced military, they say, in the world or whatnot. But why did it take them 6 hours? Like, Israel is tiny. Everybody always says Israel is such a tiny little dot on the planet. Why did it take them 6 hours to save everybody? That's a part, I just have a lot of questions about that. You trust fake science. Real science proves the COVID jabs are dangerous. Okay. All right, Spartacus, you do. Spartacus, again, come on the show and you can talk about it. We got to deport the Jews. Okay. I'm an American, so good luck with that, bro. And I'm not talking about deporting you or any Christians or Catholics that I disagree with. You don't hear me talking about deporting Catholics because there's quite a bit of pedophilia in the Catholic Church. I always tell a joke, the preacher wanted my son to be an altar boy, and I said, no, you don't. This one, he can't hold a secret. But yeah, you don't hear me saying anything of deport you guys. Look, the real U.S. president, yeah, it kind of feels that way sometimes. Who is more likely to have a Jewish president, Mexico or the USA? Well, they're calling Trump the most Jewish president, but yeah, I believe, what is it, Gloria Steinbaum from Mexico? I think she's Jewish. Israel did 9/11 for the greater Israel agenda. Spartacus, you know, it's interesting. I have seen that documentary where there was footage of there was some Israeli school happening in the World Trade Center. And then there is video of some Israelis filming it and attempting to, it looks like they're celebrating. I have seen that. Now, I can't confirm or deny it if it's conspiracy theory. I personally believe 9/11 that I think it was an inside job. I really do. And I think our government throughout history, they take calculations where, hey, X amount of people will get killed, but we'll be able to push our agenda through with the majority. So let's go ahead and do it. I'm a widow, and I can tell you that woman wasn't even slightly bothered, allegedly. I know. No, I mean, Erica Kirk, I've never seen anybody. I mean, most widows or husbands, like if I lost my wife, God forbid, you wouldn't see me. I wouldn't be on my podcast. I don't care how big my podcast was. I would just fall apart. I don't think I'd be able to come outside. I just would be with my children, making sure my children are okay. And I sure as hell, you would see plenty of tears if you ever did see me. It's a trick question. Yeah, I know Mexico has a Jewish president, but you know, these guys are screenshot and enlarged to see Charlie's assailant. Okay, I don't know what that is. Full video on my X channel. Okay. Irrefutable proof. Yeah, I mean, look, Erica Kirk is psycho. When she's like, let the Lord handle that. Like Bari Weiss, that interview. Mossad and Erica Kirk killed Charlie Kirk. Who is Mossad, by the way? I always hear Mossad agent or, you know, Jeffrey Epstein was a Mossad agent. I honestly, I don't even know. So please educate me. Erica is related to the Rothsteins, and both her parents are spooks for the CIA. And yeah, I've heard about that. Shabbos Goyim. Yeah, it's funny. Goyim or a shiksa. When I was getting married to my wife, it's like, oh, so you're marrying a shiksa. You know, look, there's racism everywhere. If you ever hear Jewish people will say, not will, they say the word shivatsa. That's the N word in Yiddish. I live in North Orlando. All right, come see me live in Naples, Florida, April 1st at Off the Hook Comedy Club. Please come see me, guys. Polio vax gave us a huge spike in cancer. Interesting. I wasn't aware of that. Your kids are going to be mad at you for injecting them with poison if they wake up. You're a bad father. Spartacus, you already said I'm a bad father. And Spartacus, if you got such guts, come on the show and say it to my face. Don't just be a little wuss behind a keyboard, bro or woman, whoever you are. Say it to my face. That's what I love about people who love to come on my show and talk this shit, is they're so scared to actually say it to my face. And maybe it's because they don't know how to copy and paste. Trump is not Jewish, somebody said in the comments. There are pictures of crates of detonators. I've seen the pics myself. Wow, that's crazy. Because Sarah Gideon was playing bots. You're such an annoying human being to listen to. Thank you, Spudnik. But the odd part is you're still listening. That is interesting. I wonder why. Why are you listening if I'm so annoying to listen to? It is a great question. Hey, and if I'm so annoying to listen to, why don't you copy and paste this link, come on the show, and talk to my face? And then I'll listen to you talk, and then we can all judge if your voice is annoying or not. Charlie Kirk was a punk taking America back 60 years. Yeah, I did not agree with anything Charlie Kirk said. I don't think he deserved to die at all. Certainly not. But I didn't agree with anything he had to say. And what did he do? He went around to colleges debating kids. Like if he had gone to like debate the kids' parents, I'd have a lot more respect for that. But just going around to colleges debating kids I didn't think that was that crazy. Turbo friend, come on the show, guys. If you want, here is the link. copy and paste it and come on and talk to me. That's how these conversation is what we're all really missing. How many presidents ordered the release of the Epstein files? Oh, yeah, just one, Trump. Yeah, and you know what? I will commend Trump for that. He did open up this Pandora's box, but again, you know, I agree. I think he did open it up. I'm very thankful he did. I'm guessing he maybe now wishes he hadn't. But I don't know, guys. I think there is a good chance that from what I've heard, it's shocking who is on those files. Vaccines only react against 0.20% of the people that get them. So I'm not against them, even though I just about died from one. I'm only against people being forced into getting them or losing their job. Yeah, I understand that, and I can respect that opinion. Yeah, there was a reporter who captured pics of art students with crates of detonators in their apartment. Whoa. This guy is currently sitting in his non-binary cry closet. How did you know? It's my non-binary cry closet. Come on in and cry. It's a non-binary cry closet. Come on in and get by. I love you. I'm non-binary. I'm a canary in a coal mine. Yeah. Thank you, Devil Dog. Charlie Twerpkirk, love young boys. Interesting. Kushner's awful. Kushner is Jewish. Trump's son-in-law just bought an island called Sazan near. Yeah, Trump. Jared Kushner has no soul. I will say that. As a Jewish person, I do not claim him. I mean, he's the one who him and Steve was it Witkoff? Like, oh yeah, Jared's had a master plan for years. I mean, you know, it's pretty obvious. We want to be honest with ourselves that, you know, Gaza, October 7th was the excuse to go into Gaza and flatten it out so they could put up condos. I mean, the plans are out there. Jared Kushner's on top of it. That's what it is. And I don't understand who they think is going to want to go vacation where all those people were massacred. Right? I mean, if you believe in the spirit world or ghosts or whatever, they will haunt the hell out of that place. It will never be okay. Rumor has it that Trump converted for Ivanka because her hubby is Jewish. I don't know. I just jumped on the show and you said you don't agree with anything Kirk said, and that's all I need to know about you because that's profoundly ignorant. Best of luck, but you'll never learn. Okay, that's okay, Nightburn. I mean, Charlie Kirk said a lot of racist shit, said a lot of homophobic shit. He thought women should stay home. So, you know, did Charlie Kirk have some things that he said that I think are okay and I can agree with? Of course. But by and large, I don't think Charlie Kirk was just something amazing, and that's okay. Thank you for jumping on, and that's okay. That's your right to not agree with me. People in college vote so they are adults, okay? I hate Kushner. Yeah, Witkoff is a creep too. Agreed. Trump sucks, okay. Is Israel in the room with us right now? Lone Wolf is back. I don't know. The Epstein files ended his entire presidency. Who, Trump? I don't know. It might. I don't know. And I think MAGA, you know, it's hard for everybody. I mean, this is a really hard time for everybody to come to grips with what is going on in our country. And we're going to, you know, I just kind of hope like we find out, I think I have somebody who came on. Awesome. Turbo.
Hey, what's
How
up,
you doing,
bro?
my friend?
Yeah, just hanging out with the boys asleep.
Nice. Hey, Turbo, thanks for coming on. And you're proving that I'm not such a scary guy, am I?
No, no, I wouldn't say.
Thank you. How are you doing? What would you like to talk to the people about? What, you have your kid sleeping next to you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is he sick or is he just?
Yeah. He's a
Oh,
little
I'm
sick.
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, we just moved to Florida and we're getting all the Florida cooties. Yeah.
Florida cooties. Where'd you move from?
We're like north of Boston, like in the Merrimack Valley area.
Okay, cool. Where in Florida are you now?
Just north of Orlando, like the Longwood area. Sanford.
okay, cool. You should come see me at Off the Hook Comedy Club if you can make the trip. I think Orlando, it's about 2 hours though from
Yeah.
Naples, so that's a little far.
Yeah, I mean,
What would
if I can,
what would you like to say to the people, or anything you'd like to talk about specifically?
Well, I'm a 3-time Trumper, right? I
Okay.
voted for the guy 3 times, and now I can't stand him.
Mm.
I think he's completely full of shit. I mean, I always knew he was full of shit, but
Hmm.
he was like the FU to the system, or
Of
used to be.
course. Hmm.
Used to be. And I've always found like left wing politicians to be like nauseating because of the fake morality and stuff like that.
I agree.
But then, Trump just like completely turned his back on like everybody that voted for him. His second term, it's just been all Israel, all everything else, all how am I gonna salvage my midterms? How am I gonna this? How am I gonna I
Hmm.
guess the Venezuela thing, all the money's going to Qatar and
Right.
like some fund that the feds can't touch.
In
And
his
he's just like,
personal account. Yeah, it's like, look, I would love it if he's like, hey, we stole all this oil. Everybody, you get money. You get, like
yeah,
Oprah style. And yeah, I totally agree. Like I said, I'm Jewish, and I'm even kind of shocked by. I've honestly, it's hard to say this, but I've been a little turned off by all of the Israel support because everybody's taking money. All these politicians, and like I even have some of my Catholic friends who I went to college with, or some of them would always make Jew jokes. Oh, Sam, don't Jew us down. And they were the first to make the Jewish jokes. And then they're like, Sam, I support Israel. And you're like, but you always called me a Jew, and, and like made all these jokes. So it's just like my spidey senses are tingling, there's just
really,
something a little bit off by it.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's weird.
yeah, it's very confusing. It's a very confusing time because, of course, everybody talks America first, and like everybody is hurting.
Yeah,
It's funny that people are pretending the economy is great. And, I think gas is actually down actually a little bit here in California for once. And I know probably where you are, it is. But then everything else, I'm not seeing it. Jobs like LA is dead. I mean, the entertainment business has just been killed. So,
took me about
um,
2 months to find a job.
really,
Yeah, and I'm in the car business, and usually it's like, if you've been in the car business a long time, you can just kind of walk into a place and get a job usually
okay.
if you know what you're doing.
Mhm.
And like Indeed, and like, like I was like, whoa, I'm like, is this how it goes in the South? Are they on their own pace? But yeah, no, nobody's hiring. Nobody's hiring.
Yeah.
Like I got hired because I just have so much experience and stuff like
Mhm.
that that
Mhm.
eventually someone was gonna, like, all right, well, we'll give them a try. But then now I see my customers, and like normally, like tax season, usually people have a couple grand, 3 grand, sometimes 5 grand to put down.
Mhm.
Now it's like I'm talking to people, well, you got anything to put down? They're like, no, maybe
Wow.
$500. A couple
Mm.
people maybe 1,000. Like, whoa, you got 1,000 to put down? Wow,
Yeah.
people are struggling, man.
Yeah,
And
and
I'm
it's
not saying this to laugh at them. Like I
no.
feel it, like they've been getting squeezed from every end.
Yeah.
Like like when you pop a pimple on your head, just like the two fingers just pressing you until it just explodes. And that's what's happening to these people. Like
Yeah.
um, they're having to like the Dollar Tree and stuff. They're having to buy stuff at the Dollar Tree on credit. You
Right.
know, and
Right.
that's not because they, that's because they just literally can't afford Dollar Tree items.
Yeah.
The
Even all the
electric,
99
everything.
cent stores have closed in LA, and I'm like, God, if the 99 cent store can't afford to be open, that should tell you a lot.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
How
it's
how 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 can they keep going?
right.
And we always said too, because like you know, most car business people in sales and stuff, we're usually not making a ton of money. We're usually near 6 figures or just above typically.
Mhm.
And then we have customers who make like 40, 50, 60 grand a year.
Mhm.
And we're like, how do they do it? How do you do
Right.
it when you got a combined household income of 60 grand or 70 grand, kids? I remember when the Ukraine war started, all my customers and coworkers who lived in New Hampshire,
Mhm.
for some reason, New Hampshire got all their heating oil there from Russia or Ukraine or one of them. And then when the war happened, instantly, like the cost to fill their home heating oil tank went up 3 times. 3 times.
Jesus.
Like, how do you do
Lord.
that? Like on a regular salary, you got
Right.
to put it on plastic, and they're
Right.
probably
And
already maxed out.
and I thought too, like getting all that oil from Venezuela, like, okay, is gas going to be
Yep.
cheaper, something like
Something,
that?
right?
Or is,
Give us a reach around, something.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Tickle our
it's,
butts, something.
yeah, yeah, something. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anything.
Some magical fingers there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no, I feel your frustration and I really appreciate your honesty. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of times people, a big human flaw is, nobody, if you voted for Trump, if you didn't vote for Trump, if, people just they don't want to be wrong about him. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I think he has duped a lot of people. I mean, because look, if the economy was great and it truly, like, I think the economy is great for multi-millionaires and up to billionaires. I think they're doing very well. But what I find is kind of obnoxious is like these billionaires telling us that prices are down at the grocery store when they don't go grocery store shopping. They have personal shoppers and personal chefs, and it's almost like they're not living on the same planet that we're living on.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
another thing too is like even
Mhm,
like the immigration policy,
mhm.
he sold us a bill of goods on that because all I've seen from my end is like, okay, he's making some people self-deport. They're deporting a small number of people, so he didn't live up on his promise either way. But like from what I saw in my business, we used to have like drivers and stuff like that would do like jobs that generally Americans don't want to do, like pick up
Yeah.
wholesale cars because it'll be freezing cold and snowing and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and you pick up cars that wouldn't start in mounds of snow and all the sort of semi-legal or maybe not legal
Sure.
drivers, they're too afraid to get out and do so.
Hmm.
So some of the small businesses are collapsing,
Yeah.
and it's like it's like a half measure. It's like you go into that, and then he's just like expecting like millions and millions of Americans who don't work to just magically find a will to work. But
Right.
like wages haven't changed, so it's like they're not going to find that will to work until they get a bone, they get an incentive to get back to
Right.
work.
Yeah,
You
because
can't
like
just
you
like
said,
shut it
it's
down without a better plan.
right. Like if you can get somebody to go pick up a car in the freezing cold for $20, I'm gonna be like, for
Hell no.
$20, hell no. I'm gonna sit at home.
Hell no.
$20, I just spent that on a case of beer. I'm not gonna drive an hour or two away. And you bring up a good point because I was talking with a friend about that today. In Los Angeles, we have tons of immigrants here, and I'll be honest, like in construction or an electrician or just simple like landscaping, things like that. Like I can hire my neighbor Jorge down the street. Now he's legal, I believe. I don't know. But he'll do it generally for cheaper than if I call up one of those nice fancy landscaping companies. And that's the way, like, or if it's in construction, like the difference of me renovating my kitchen and everybody, I want to save money and be able to do it. And immigrant labor, like you said, it's a great way to be able to do that. And they're generally, people say, oh, they're taking our jobs, but that's generally not a job that most people a lot of Americans won't even take. So it's like, why do you
They're too
care?
proud.
I look at it as like, hey, those bits of money that I can save allow me to put money back into the economy. Then I can go out and take my wife out for dinner, or Christmas. I can afford to buy more presents if I'm able to kind of save money. And then I'm supporting the immigrant populations. And, most of these people are great people. And I think that's part of the problem is, of course, they promise to go after the criminals and the rape, and we all agree nobody wants that kind of person in your country or in your neighborhood or whatnot. But
Most of us
you
don't.
know, yeah. But for people who have been here for 30 years, and I know people like that are like, oh, their grandma's illegal. And it's like, what, then let her. What is she doing to hurt you? Kind of thing. And
There has
but
to be some way to get them in the fold, like some type of not an amnesty, but some type of thing,
right, yeah,
like
and
this
then people,
pathway to whatever. So at least we
right,
know who the hell they are,
yes,
and they're paying, or whatever the income tax, whatever, all that stuff is
hmm,
sorted.
yeah,
Because the other part too is like generally like a lot of those people, like one of my best friend, well, my best friend, he was from Colombia, We grew up on the same street in Malden, Mass, and right after 9/11 is when immigration started to get a little heat up, and he basically got the letter like, "Hey kid, your time's up here." And he went to elementary, middle school, high school. He was going to community college, working at a bank, like the type of person you'd want to keep, right?
Right, right.
And he gets the letter like, "Come on, pal," like not like we're gonna send you, but like he kind of got the vibe. It was getting close. And so me and his parents, he decided to hop the border, go to Canada.
Okay.
And he's now a Canadian citizen many years later. And yeah, it's just like a lot of, it seems like it, the way we do it, it chases away like the people that have brains and have decency. And
Yeah.
then, and like the creeps are just gonna stay until you just physically extract them,
Yeah.
till you, and then again too, like if they toss their passport across the border or whatever, you don't know their identity. It's like we're not going about it the right way. Like
Yeah.
in any fashion.
Yeah, and it's easy. I realize it's easy to hate somebody you don't know.
Yeah.
Like you said, you had a best friend who's Colombian, or, I find a lot of people who have no sympathy or empathy for, some of these immigrants or whatnot, they're not coming into contact with them. So all they're doing is watching TV and like, oh, what about, this one woman who was killed by an illegal immigrant? And it's, they'll hang on to one murder that was committed by one person and then decide to hate everybody. And, that's what I always talk about on my show is like, just because you had a bad experience with, this type of person, it doesn't, you can't just go and hate everybody who looks like that person.
Correct.
But I think it's easy to stay angry when you don't know somebody personally and you're watching the TV and they're telling you, hey, the reason you don't have your job right now, it's because of that, Jorge or whatever. And it's like that
Took your
generally,
job.
yeah, but it's hard. There's not as many jobs at all. I mean, we've
The
lived through a
job
lot of
situation's
crazy.
bad.
Yeah, it really is. And look, if and like you said, you voted for Trump 3 times. I'm guessing if things were different, I would have voted for, Trump if it was really, if things were going to get better. I didn't like Biden. I didn't like
Oh, I hated Biden.
Kamala. Yeah, I mean, I
Hated
think
Biden.
I think
That's another thing too. Like the immigrants that Biden let in,
Mhm,
like my Colombian buddy came. His family came in the '90s, and they got
mhm.
some like Section 8 and stuff like that. But they worked. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And I think that was the compact. Like, okay, maybe we're gonna help you out a little bit, but you're gonna work.
sure.
Biden let in a bunch of people that are like, okay, what are you gonna give us for being here?
Right. Yeah,
It's
and
like,
it's kind
no,
of
no, no. That's not the way this works in America. You
right,
come and you
right.
work, you fill a hole, and then maybe
Mhm.
we help you, get situated. You don't just come in and
Exactly.
with your hand out, gimme, 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 gimme. No, 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 no,
Right,
no.
right.
20
I
million
totally
people,
agree.
gimme, 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 gimme. No,
Yeah.
that's where everything got messed up.
I agree. I mean,
The
I would know
compact.
people who would come over like from Mexico, have their baby here, have the baby for free, and then go back to Mexico, or
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I had no clue
A
you
lot
could
of
do that.
Chinese, a lot of Chinese citizens do that too.
Sure, yeah, it's not just Latinos, and I think
Yeah,
that's part of the problem too, is they've targeted Latinos and act like, oh,
yeah.
this is the problem. It's like we have immigrants of all different races that are taking advantage of of the system, and I don't blame them. You know what I mean? I would do if I had to do something for my family and I could figure that out. It's the system that's to blame.
Don't hit
Um,
the player, right?
yeah, don't hate the player, hate the game. Exactly, that's so
Yeah.
true. Um,
Yeah, like we had to
yeah,
leave Mass because like we couldn't afford daycare. Like it was like
wow.
$500-600 a week, and
Oh my
we're one
god.
income because my son he was premature and like he has his little behavioral issues and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We came to Florida because we could find places like $200 a week, which is a lot
Okay.
more doable.
Yeah.
One of the things we found out in Mass was like my niece, she just graduated BU. She wants to be like a lawyer and like social
Mm-hmm.
justice and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been working at like a daycare, and basically, she's not on my side of the spectrum, but
Mm-hmm.
basically I sort of dug it out of her that like if you're like a Mass resident, everything's on the books. Like one of his daycares got shut down. Like the lady was just she was actually from Barbados, and she just put her first floor of her two family
Mm-hmm.
for like a few little kids. We paid out of pocket. She had some kids that were getting vouchers. The Commonwealth
Mm-hmm.
of Mass just said, no more. Like, we don't have the money.
Mm,
We don't have the money. And I found
wow.
out from my niece that some of the new arrivals who don't even work are getting
Hmm.
health care, and it's
Wow.
not being paid for by the state program, but
Hmm.
there are other maybe non-state entities that are getting
Mm,
money from the state that are paying
wow.
for daycare for people that are new
Yeah.
arrivals.
No, it makes you angry, and I think a lot of times we don't know where to place the anger, and they're telling us where to place the anger.
Yep.
And it's like, billionaires
Same
never had
game,
to worry. Yeah, it's
divide
like
and
Howard
conquer.
Howard Lutnick. He's like, yes, I did go to Epstein Island on my boat with my children and our
Yeah,
nannies.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
he
The
said
family.
nannies in plural. I was like, how many fucking nannies do you have? You know what I mean? It's like, no, and like to your
Uh,
point, like childcare is so expensive. It's like
insane.
it's almost better one parent stay home because
Yep.
it's a whole nother income to be able to pay somebody to look after your children, really. I mean,
Yep.
preschool, oh my God, preschool out here was ridiculous. I
Oof.
couldn't believe how much these places were charging. And I'm like, well, not sure we can afford that.
And that's what I mean. Like, all the money we spend fighting wars
Yeah.
in rotten corners of the earth,
Yeah.
and hoarding people by the millions, and you know, the government's got to to me get back to incentivizing Americans to have kids and help
Yeah.
Americans raise their kids.
Yeah.
Also, too, put the war machine. Take all that money from the DoD, put it
Yeah.
towards infrastructure and
Yeah.
public works. Build our goddamn country back up. Screw
Yeah.
everybody. That's America first. I don't know what
I
Trump has
agree.
been talking about recently.
Yeah.
America first
Hmm.
is America first.
Exactly. No, I
Americans
mean, we're
first.
spending so much. I totally agree with you. I'm like, why wouldn't we give tax credits to a parent who stays home?
Yep.
Say, hey, we'll give you, 30 grand a year if a
If you got
parent
an
stays
extra
home.
room,
Something.
yeah, and if you can take in a couple more kids, we'll throw you a couple bucks,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
There's no way we can't, with all the apps and stuff we have nowadays. This could be solved,
Exactly.
but it's just like the left uses their things to mobilize their base for that. The right and
Yep.
Trump use their
Yeah.
things to mobilize it on the other end, and neither
Yeah.
seems to care about any of us.
No, that's what I always say. They're all on the same team, but like people like you and I are left to like fight over scraps with each other and blame
Yep.
each other when it's like, yeah, I totally agree. We should, with all the money, I mean, even all the money they've spent on ICE, all the money we spend on wars. I mean, we spend, I think they say like 40 billion a year to Israel and all this stuff. So I'm like, if I was ever in office, I'd say let's try not giving money to everywhere else. It's almost like if you make a lot of money and everybody's like, hey Sam, can you take me out to dinner? Sure. Hey Sam, I need to borrow money. Okay. And then all of a sudden I'm starting to notice my kids don't have new clothes, but your kids have new clothes. And it's like, at what point I need to take care of my own family, and Donald Trump's family or any American president, we are their family and we pay so much in taxes. And I'm just like, can't we at least have a choice of where that money goes? We get to vote, but I wish we could vote on where's half of my paycheck go to. It's so infuriating. And then when we're seeing it just, go to bail out all these other countries, the different wars, corporations, and like you see Amazon laying off all these people, but Jeff Bezos has got more
Yep.
money than God. It's just like, I almost
Building
think there should be,
rockets. They have
yeah,
so much
yeah, it's
stinking
just
money. They're bored and
right.
they're building themselves space stations and rockets.
Literally. I'm like, Elon Musk, okay, what are these damn rockets? What are they doing? Like, I don't want to live on Mars. Like, I'm just like, each of his rockets
Well,
could
they want to
probably,
commoditize, I think, like asteroids and stuff like that. I think that's what they want to figure out, how to get like
yeah,
rare minerals from, just to,
right,
to boost their line.
right. But it's not
their
like they're
profit
going
line.
to, it's not like they're
It's
going to
nothing
give us
to
any of that
benefit
money.
humanity. It's how
Yeah,
do we generate more cell phones and gadgets and
right.
you know.
Yeah. No, each
And
of
again,
his
like
rockets
you
could
said,
probably build a
nothing
new
is going to
school.
trickle back to the American people. None of it.
Exactly.
We pay all
Yeah.
the R&D. We pay everything, and we don't even
Yeah.
get we don't even get a discount on stuff.
No. No, I mean, it's kind of crazy. I would love to see a politician, and I would vote either way if there was a politician who was really America first, who
Yeah.
actually could show me that they're putting money into our infrastructure back into our pockets. I mean, each of those rockets could be new school. I mean, some of it our schools, are just disgusting and broken down. And it's just, I don't know what the solution is, but I think the more Americans kind of drop this, left first, right thing and start to realize it's really billionaires versus regular folks, who are paycheck to paycheck, who, like you said, don't have $500 savings, don't have $1,000 saved. That's a real issue. And I don't know. I just all you can do is just kind of pray that we'll come out the other side on this. But I think it is. I really appreciate you coming on the show and having this conversation, because I hate talking to people who, they always say preaching to the choir. You know what I mean? It's good to talk with people that maybe we don't agree on things, but finding the middle ground, because there's so much. Everybody's just not listening to each other.
Yeah.
Every TV show I see, it's just some left guy yelling at you're a moron, and it's like nothing happens. You know what I mean? It's like, so who
Even
knows?
among my own family.
Yeah.
Like I can't even talk to like my sisters and brother.
Sure.
Like,
I know.
Like, I'm not gonna. They're still my family. Like I disagree with them on a lot of stuff, but I'm like that's the way you see things. Like, but you're still my blood.
Exactly.
You're still,
and they even have
the same parents.
Yeah, they have us fighting even with our families when it's really it's them, and they know this. They want us fighting each other so that way they can keep making more and more money. There's no empathetic like billionaires. You know what I mean? Like,
well, remember Occupy?
Yeah.
I mean, it was disjointed. It was all over the place, right?
Yeah.
But it was a good amount of chaos that sort of, maybe, unsettled, some very powerful people. And then you saw immediately the very unbiased, non-corporate press all of a sudden just stop. What are these rabble rousers talking about? Oh, by the way, white people are super racist. You gotta watch out for your white neighbors now.
Right.
They're racist.
Right.
They're the one. Your white next door neighbor. He's the one doing this to you all.
Sure.
Don't look at Jeff and Elon and all these guys. It's your white neighbor. Hate him.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Like,
and vice versa.
They just divided by race, and they actually proved that racial articles went up like 1,500% in the weeks after.
Right even on Facebook. I mean, haven't you ever noticed when you're kind of scrolling that they kind of feed you stuff that, like, I almost have to stop because like that's making me angry. Now I'm getting even angrier. And it's like they know that, they know they kind of have an idea of how you believe, and they know how to feed you these videos that get you more and more angry. And like you said, whether it's hate white people, your neighbor is doing this, or hate the immigrant or Latino or black guy next door is doing this. And the whole thing is like, they're just trying to go to work every day and make money for their family and bring food home on the table and just have a nice life for our kids, take 100%. Care of our children. So I don't know. I think we're getting into a better place. I really believe that Americans are going to start, it's probably going to take just a nationwide shutdown, where everybody hits the streets and just says, look, until you guys are America first. I just saw Hakeem Jeffries. Somebody said, are you APAC? And and I was like, they all, I'm like, I really, it's like they're all bought by someone. It should almost be illegal for politicians to take money,
How does that continue with all the what were all those different acts they did about lobbying and like remember was it McCain and like Feinbaum McCain or whatever all that was, and it was all about that, like all this campaign finance and it's just seemed at some point between then and now they just throw that all out, like that none of that matters anymore.
Right.
Because they found the way around with all these like super PACs and all this stuff, and then it's like,
really is.
We're back in business, boys.
Exactly.
Start
Yeah.
bringing the offers in.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, they have at least one master. It's usually multiple or dozens of masters. Each single member of Congress, the Senate, you name it.
Yeah. I almost enjoy this Epstein
They're like
stuff.
billboard space. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
like this
Yes.
corner's Exxon, that corner's
Exactly.
Partners
Yeah.
Healthcare. Like
Of course.
they're all.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why even Donald Trump was, they don't want to, if global warming or whatever it is, or, oil and fossil fuels are great. They don't really believe that. It's just because they don't want all these electric cars coming out, and who knows, electric cars, they say the batteries and all that cobalt, like there's like mining, and killing kids so but it's just,
That's true.
they want you to believe that one or the other is great because then it's good for their business. It's all
they did
money.
get the cart before the horse with how heavily they went on hybrids. Especially like they just like I was at a Jeep store and like we sell Wranglers, right? Those are things they're bricks with wheels, like they're never going to be. And we slap these 800-pound batteries full of cobalt and all sorts of like blood minerals, basically.
Right, literally.
That guys like they had guards like with AKs, like if you didn't do your job, like or snuck in and got footage they didn't want you, pew pew,
Right.
Yeah. But it was like during the Biden administration, they completely pushed it. Like you're all doing it now. No, no ifs, ands, or buts.
Right.
And then a lot of the car manufacturers like Jeep and Ford, we all took baths on those plug-in hybrids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whereas Toyota, the Japanese are a little more practical. Toyota had a 145/90 rule. It was one fully battery electric vehicle can make the same amount. You can make 45 non-plug-in hybrids, or you make 90 regular cars. So they said the 145/90 rule is something like that. Basically, that if you make 90 like small 4-cylinder engines, they talk about emissions. Like a lot of these Japanese 4-cylinder engines, like Subaru has like a PZEV or PF, partially zero emissions vehicle. Like they don't emit anything. They're not. There's no emissions on them. Like so if you make a small little 4-cylinder engine that's efficient, it's not going to emit. You're really not going to make. You don't need that many noxious chemicals and minerals to make it. But you're taking this huge 800 to Teslas have 2,000-pound batteries, 2,500-pound batteries.
Right.
You're gouging the earth and you're ruining the groundwater, killing all the animals. And
it's almost.
Non-plug-in hybrids are good. Like if they roll them out in like a certain fashion, but just completely push it, like do it or else, like they screwed the car makers with that, particularly the ones a lot of times too, particularly the American car makers, they're getting their asses kicked by Toyota and Honda such on a regular basis that when the government dangles a carrot, they're like ooh, just to just to be able to give their useless CEOs their ungodly quarterly bonuses or yearly bonuses they don't deserve. To screw their auto workers on their collective bargaining. But I mean, they are underwater mainly because they're paying the CEOs too much, but also
the CEOs are getting like $30 million, where it's like, dude, you just don't need that much money.
They're not worth anything. Those guys, they're lousy.
Right. It's not like some guy who has such a skill set that we have to have him or the whole place will fall apart. No, it's
and they're all losing money. Like all the American car companies are losing money. They're all losing money. Like Toyota's turning a profit, Honda's turning a profit, because the Japanese, I could be wrong. I don't think they pay their CEOs $100 million a quarter or whatever.
Right.
I don't think they do it. They might make $5 or $10 million dollars, or they get paid well, but they're not getting paid to start a space program like Bezos or like Lewis Black once said. He like the company that it was like a father and sons that they fleeced their employees for their retirement funds, and he said he's like, this was back in the day, so it's like for $100 million, and like you remember Lewis Black, he's like what are you building, a space program? Like what are you doing with $100 million that you can't do with $90 million?
Exactly.
It's the greed.
Yeah, it's just greed. Yeah,
out of control greed.
Yep.
And we have no mission anymore. It's like Americans, like we used to have Manifest Destiny and the Marshall Plan. We had all these ideals that Americans get behind. We don't have that
Right.
anymore. It's just like,
No.
oh, your neighbor has a Lexus. You should get a better Lexus or
Right.
whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Or your neighbor has this bag. You need a better purse than she has, or else
Hmm.
you're garbage. You're nothing.
Right.
And we're completely full tilt consumerism and greed, and we have to stop that. We have to change
Yeah.
that.
No, I agree. Well, it was great talking with you. I really
Likewise,
appreciate
brother.
you coming on. And please feel free to come on any other time. I'm actually gonna get moving. I have to get back to
Yeah,
some other
brother.
work and everything. But yeah,
Nice
please
chatting, man.
follow me and check out my comedy.
I
I'm going to
did.
be on Comics Unleashed this Wednesday on CBS after the Colbert Show.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, so you can see me on there.
Good
And
stuff.
yeah, I really appreciate your conversation. I think it's really helpful to a lot of people to kind of hear your opinion. So
Thank you, buddy.
yeah. All right. Well,
Farewell. Good luck with everything. I hope
okay.
maybe if I can, I might see you in Naples.
Please do. Let me know and I'll get you a free ticket.
Thanks, brother. Vince, say
Cool.
bye.
Take care. Thank you so much. Bye, little guy. Feel better. Oh, take care. He's
See
a
you, bud.
beautiful kid. All right. Take
Thanks,
care.
buddy. Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. This is Samson's World, where court comedy and culture collide. I hope you see that. It was a beautiful, nice conversation we had, and I think that's the way you do it. Yes, Regina in the comments, I'm a comic. I know a lot of people are like, you're not funny. But thank you. That's the kind of dialogue we all need to start having. Everybody stay blessed. Take care of your family. I wish you all financial freedom. I wish you the best of health, light, love, and manifest what you want. Secret Service Sam out. Samson for president of the world.
Can you freestyle rap at all?
Not yet.
Doesn't it appear to be extremely coincidental that you guys arrest people right outside of Governor Newsom's press conference? Is this really just a show of power?